So how can we now add this visual to a report? Well, to do that, you simply go to File and now save this as a report. Let's do this. Now we have to enter a name. Let's say our first pro report. Let's call it like this, and let's press save. And now you see some things that changed. The first thing is we have the report saved. This is nice. But now we are no longer in the datasets menu here, but we are here in the reports part. And in this reports part, indicated by this yellow bar, we are in our first pro report here with these two visuals. If we now scroll down and go again back to the dataset, you see this dataset, so this report page, is empty again. And this is what I was referring to in the last lecture. You can use this dataset view to create new reports, new report pages with the underlying dataset we have. And if you save these then these will be saved, well, as a new report here. And by the way, here, this report, this is the report that was part of the initial dataset. So you published your entire project to Power BI Desktop, and now you have your initial report that you had in that project and your underlying dataset to create new reports as we did it right here. So this is important to understand. This is how Power BI Pro works here from a conceptual perspective. If you want to edit an existing report though, so the report that we had in our project, you can also do this. For this, you have to go to the existing report, right? And here, select the visual and no, then you can't do a thing. You see this immediately because you don't have any options here besides the filters. But if you select the three dots right here to more options, then you have this edit option. And if you select it, then suddenly the menu comes back and now you are able to change the initial report that came from Power BI Desktop. So that's important to keep in mind. We will not change this report right here. And as you can see up here, the options are exactly the same that we saw in this dataset menu, but here would not change this existing report. By the way, if you're done with that report, you can change back to the reading view. Here you are back because here the option, well, to change back to the edit and reading view is working. Didn't work in the dataset menu though. I want to stick to our first pro report here because, well, here we can play around a bit more without destroying anything. Let's now explore the options that we have in this report menu. And again, I'll stick to the options that are not known already. The first option you see up here is this export option. And here we have three options basically. We can export a report page or an entire report as PowerPoint or PDF, or we can print the page. Quite helpful sometimes as you want to quickly have the data in PowerPoint, for example. You have options to share the report. Sharing will be covered again later in this module. Therefore, I would like to skip this for the moment. But as I told you that Power BI Pro is all about sharing, you can of course also share report pages here. You have the subscribe option. If we select this, you see you can get emails in case anything in the report is changing. So you will get notified about changes in this report. I don't want it here, but you can do this. You can add comments to your reports and you can add the report as a favorite. You can mark it as a favorite. If you do that here, you see that if we switch back to the favorites up here, this first report is appearing. If you click onto it, we are back here down there. Again, my workspace, our first report. So keep this navigation here in mind. It always helps you to quickly see where you are at the moment. We can keep this as a favorite actually. Here in the three dots, you saw we have the edit feature to change that report. If I do so, I'm back in the menu I was just showing you. But we can quickly change back to the reading view here. And again, we have the option to analyze in Excel. We can even embed this report in a website or publish it to the web. And then we have lots of other options. We can, for example, also download the PBIX file. So we can create a Power BI desktop file based on that report here. Let's maybe quickly do this by selecting this option. Now this takes a while as the report, of course, also contains the underlying source data. And now it's ready. So let's now check our file, which was automatically downloaded now. So this is it. This is our first Pro Report PBIX file. So let's open that. And as you can see, we now have created a Power BI desktop file based on a report that we created in Power BI Pro. Don't want to dive too deep in here. Just important to keep in mind that you have these options to save files locally that you created in Power BI Pro. So you can create a Power BI desktop project. Let's close this now, maybe minimize that. Or you have the option to export it with these three options. So this is pretty helpful sometimes. So these are the main options actually here in this reading view on the report page in Power BI Pro. And let me close this down here. Let's now change to the edit view though. So we click right here and press edit. And here we have the well-known options we know up here, but we also have a new option up here. And the new option can be seen right here, this pin alive page, and down here, this single pin option, pin visual. These options are now related to dashboards, so this is the next core part here of Power BI Pro.